So I've had the CBR500r for six plus months now. While I've done a couple reviews on the bike now, I want to kind of talk about some of the main cons regarding the bike that I think a lot of people should be aware of. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about the 2014 CBR500r. I think a lot of these, or some of these problems have been fixed in the later 2016 model. They're all pretty minor. The bike performs well, it is enjoyable to ride and does really well, but it does have some minor issues. One that isn't really talked about too much is the key ignition. I've had a lot of issues very recently, not when I first got the bike, in which it's been difficult, and it still continues to be, despite oiling it up, to put the key in and get it turning. Even if I do successfully put the key in, it'll be hard to actually turn it to the on position. And I'm not really sure what's causing it, if it has to do with like something getting in there, or just that's a common issue. I found some people on some of the CBR500R forums in which they've had similar issues. I'm not too sure why or what's really causing it, and it does become an issue. Like one time I was actually stuck at a gas station for like close to 30 minutes because nothing I did was able to turn it. I had to keep trying and trying and trying and trying. And in fact, this whole thing got out of alignment as well. It just would turn to the wrong position, so I'm not too sure why that happened. But it was worrying. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get home. I was going to call up Steven, which you've seen in a couple of my videos. I was going to ask him to see if he knew what was up and if he could help me out, or if he had any suggestions for fixing it up. Another issue specific to pre-2016 bikes, I think this applies to 2015 as well, is the muffler. It's this big, heavy, in my opinion, very ugly looking muffler, which I've talked about in a few of my other videos as well, and that's one of the things I'm still trying to consider if I want to upgrade. You can check out my video up there, me talking about aftermarket exhaust and if I think it's worth it. Like I've talked about in other videos, I want to have this bike for a while, so in that sense, I do think it might be beneficial and worth it to get it. Issue number 3 is kind of aesthetic-wise and minor. I like the styling of the bike, but I wish the CBR500R had the same color schemes that and styling that the newer 2016 models currently have. I like those, and I wish that was an option for this bike. When I got this bike, the 2016 had come out, and I could have gotten one of those, but it was not worth the difference of getting a new bike versus getting this bike, in my opinion. But I know for some people they might really prefer that, but to this point I still don't think it's worth getting the new 2016 over this bike, unless the price is like, I guess, within maybe say $500 or $500. I don't know. It depends up to you. It depends on mileage and what aftermarket mods are coming with this bike, if you're to get it used or left over, and what price it's coming for. It really all does depend. Reason number, I guess, 4-ish might be the gear spread. I've gotten used to it by this point, but I know an issue I had when I first got the bike was that I found the gearing to be really close together. But I know Honda has probably found that to be the most economical gearing choice for the bike. And despite the fact that I have been thinking of getting different sprockets, different front and rear sprockets, to maybe spread out the gearing, make it so the RPMs go a bit lower and at higher speeds. One, I don't ride at higher speeds all that often, and when I do, I still don't find it to be an issue on the bike. And I don't want to risk messing anything up. I don't have that much familiarity or background on it. Obviously, there are some other like shortcomings of the bikes, which I've talked about in more in-depth reviews, which this bike is obviously lacking compared to like the more super sport oriented bikes. But in which case, if you're the kind of rider I am and you're using the bike for what I am as well, you're not going to have an issue. So yeah, if you understand like the main points about the bike, like I've discussed, and the pros and cons of the bike, these are the main cons, which not a lot of people discuss and aren't really well known and said about the bike, which I think are important to know about. They don't make the bike any worse, really. they wouldn't change my opinion knowing these problems before. They wouldn't change my opinion on getting the bike. But it's important to say these things because, like in the 2016 model, they changed the muffler. I think they did make the ignition a little better and smoother. They do have more styling options. So in that sense, it's important to know about those, especially if you have two options of buying the bike. Say you have a 2014 and a 2016, and you find that the prices are, for whatever reason, very similar. It's important to hear these cons to know if it's better to get that 2016 over the 2014. These are basically the main differences between the two, and where the 2016 has the most improvements over this bike. So hopefully this kind of somewhat comparison between the two bikes helped you out, especially if you're considering you're choosing between the two bikes and you want to know which is best for you, if it is worth the extra money. You have to decide what these extra benefits are worth. So hopefully the comparison did help you out with that, guys. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if this was helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll be trying to continue to do CBR500r related videos and helping newer riders either get into motorcycling or riders who are interested in this bike decide if this is a good fit for them. Be sure to comment below if you have any questions about the bike or if you know any other main upgrades, main significant ones. I know I didn't cover all of them, but other significant upgrades over this 2016 or over the 2014 and such. Share the video if you know someone who's interested in getting this bike or you want to help out the channel. That means a lot to me. Channel continues to grow really fast, guys, so I do appreciate the support that you guys continue to offer me. Got a lot of great upcoming videos, so be sure to stay tuned for that. As usual, guys, if you already have a motorcycle, this is going to be a great channel to help you get into it. Until next time, guys, have a great day. Peace.